Oh, we'll rally around the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Here we go. We're starting a new campaign. I did a stream yesterday, just kind of my first impressions plan, but now I want to start a proper campaign. Whiskey and Lemons. We're going to start out as a Union Lieutenant Colonel. So I got my Lieutenant Colonel's uniform on. You can see right there, I got my oak leaves. I am all set to go. Just a couple things real quick about the campaign. You can actually do career mode with other campaigns. So, for example, if I want to do a Spring 1861, I don't think you can do that one. But you can do Summer 1861 as a career and play the whole map. The difference is you can only do that starting at the brigade level. So you can't take command of a single regiment. You can do it as a brigade commander. And in that mode, you can take on the entire map. We're going to dive in to the East 1861 Brigade Level 1. Now, you can do this as a campaign as well, which means you could start out controlling everything in the East. But we're going to start the career as a Lieutenant Colonel with a brigade command, play the Eastern Theater, and see what happens. We're going to do this as the Union. We'll put the Confederacy on very hard. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it should be interesting. We're going to make them mediocre aggressiveness. We don't want it to be too crazy, right? So with that, we'll dive into the career. There's a ton of questions that you have to answer, and these determine your starting fame, initiative, leadership, administration, and cunning. We also want to find a portrait that looks pretty close to what I look like here, and I think that 11 might have been it. Yeah, I can't grow a beard like that, that's for sure. Yeah, we're going to go with that one right there. And I kind of like that frame right there. Let's pick a good flag. Not an Irish flag, that's for sure. That's too Pennsylvania-ish. Oh, that's Pennsylvania right there. You know what? We'll just go with something that looks good. I like that one. We'll go with it. All right, we're going to be from Ohio. This is going to advance it to September. We'll just back it up. That's okay. 1827. All right, and I'm going to go professional soldier as best I can. I'm going to go ahead and answer all of these. It's a lot. It takes a long time. There's like 20 questions or something like that. But they all play a part, and there's a lot to this. So there's a lot of ways you can really customize your start. So we'll see what I end up with here. Okay, so we're going to start with 300 prestige and 100 in money. Looks like leadership is my best trait, followed by administration and cunning. A little bit of initiative, not much. I am blindly loyal. I'm devout. I'm a teetotaler. I'm heroic. And so I'll inspire my men. I'm psychopathic. I'm not sure how I ended up with that one. While pressure does not seem to affect you at all, you also seem to miss many other human qualities like feelings. Many think you are a barking mad psychopath and a liability to your unit. And I'm liberal. All right, so interesting. Let's dive into the war. Okay, it's time to pick a unit to command. We really want to be in the main army, gathering around DC, so we can definitely be more likely to see some action. This is the cost and prestige to each of these units, depending on who we choose and where. 1st Ohio is in the Army of Northeastern Virginia, as is the 2nd Ohio. West Virginia Militia, I don't think so. I think we're going to go with the 1st Ohio. That's 2nd Brigade, 1st Division. Let's go ahead and do that. So, all right, I'm going to be Colonel of the 1st Ohio, Lieutenant Colonel of the 1st Ohio Infantry. That is a part of Robert Schenk's brigade of Daniel Tyler's division in Irvin McDowell's army. We're beside the 2nd Ohio, the 2nd New York State Militia, and Battery E of the 2nd U.S. Artillery, though I expect we will see more units join us before all is said and done. Now, we do have a little bit of prestige available where we can pick an adjutant, and that effect, no matter who you pick as an adjutant, it's going to be bonuses to initiative and battle order delay reduction. But the better adjutant you pick, the more that bonus will be. I like W.H.L. Wallace. Historically, he was killed at the Battle of Shiloh. So we're going to add him to our staff. And he will give us those bonuses. And then eventually we can add second in command, a quartermaster, and then we'll have companions who join along the way. But we don't have any say on who those companions are. What kind of weapons do we have? We don't really have a choice on that either. We can customize the uniform. We've got Springfield muskets, so not necessarily ideal. I do want to at least get some red pants so we're a little more distinct on the battlefield. This is a 3-month unit that only has 1 month remaining, so we're probably going to see a big reduction in the number of men we have in the field once we go over to a 1-year unit. So as we wait for things to get going, it is June of 1861. I do want to take a look, too. We have 100 in available money. We could add weapons. We can get some items that'll give us some bonuses, but I think I'll get a horse. I can only get the basic horse, which isn't really necessarily all that great, but it'll do for now. And all of this goes into our biography. You can see here our biography. I graduated from the military academy, top third of my class. I was in the engineers, fought in the Indian Wars, wounded multiple times. And there you have W.H.L. Wallace appointed as an attendant or adjutant. And then these actions, eventually we can spend money or prestige to add those. And those will give us various bonuses as well. All right, looks like we're moving out. Today I was told by other officers I was getting chubby. Probably just my uniform has shrunk. We'll go with that. But we are moving out toward the Confederate Army of the Potomac, which is somewhere here around Manassas Junction. We're going to be fighting the first Battle of Bull Run. We're going to get our chance to see the elephant, as they called it. Maybe. I mean, we're in the action here, but we're not actually fighting the battle, which is kind of disappointing. Not sure why we're not able to fight it. Are we not actually there? That's the question. No, we're there. We're just not fighting for some reason. Okay, here we go. Manassas Junction, and it looks like we hold the objectives to start, so we may actually be on the defensive here. And I think that's because the one division engaged early and they lost, but yeah, rather than having to attack, we get to defend, which is fantastic news. A little choppy there, but here we are. We're going to defend a position we're already in. It's just after midnight. All we got to do is sit tight in these fortifications. I love it. Okay, so they're coming. Now, one of the ways you earn prestige is by occupying the place that you've been ordered to occupy. And since we're already here, we've already got a 10-point bonus to prestige for being in the combat zone. The rebels are on their way. It's very early in the morning. You can see the smoke or the dust from their advance. We're sitting right here. Not entirely sure why we're not directly up on the objective there, but it also seems like our formation is not exactly what it should be. So we're gonna move up with our red pants here. What are we doing? There we go. No, don't go up there. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't like the fact that the unit to my left has decided to abandon the fortifications. I have nobody on my left. I do have our division artillery, or our brigade's artillery, right next to me here. It looks like the 2nd Ohio is in reserve, but I am basically manning the fortifications all by my lonesome self. Our guns have opened up. We only have Springfield muskets, which means we don't have a ton of range because we don't have rifled muskets. Looks like Wade Hampton's going to attack over here on our left flank. But we're just going to have to wait and see what the rebels do here. I'm going to speed time along. Seems like he might not even be attacking. I'm not sure what he's doing. It appears what he was doing was waiting for the rest of his army to get there. I hope that these brigades on our right flank are going to move up in our support, because we are about to get nailed by a massive Confederate force. And I'm hoping we can hold. Thankfully, I feel good having that battery on my right flank. I don't feel good having nothing on my left flank, with what appears to be an entire Confederate division moving in on us. Scouts report enemy units are spotted in our area of operations. Deploy your regiment and engage the enemy. Already on it, sir. Alright, looks like now the rest of the brigade's going to move into position. Let's look at what the orders are. Let me back up a little bit so I can see him. What, he's telling the whole division to shift that way? That does not seem like a good idea. I'm not feeling optimistic about our commanding officers right now. I almost feel like I need to shift over here to help out, but it's almost probably too late for that at this point. Yeah, let's get over there. Ain't nobody else gonna do the job. Somebody's got to do it. Let's go, boys. Pour it into them. 633 men of the 1st Ohio. Opening fire on the 5th Alabama and the 2nd South Carolina. I think. There we go. It seems like, I don't know if it's because it's dark, that the computer just seems like it's having a hard time. Break the enemy's line and whip them. I was playing this earlier and it wasn't this bad on the graphics, but it seems like it's having a little trouble now. Enemies behind cover, we're behind cover. We're supported on both flanks. It is our first battle experience. What is going on here? This unit's sending some skirmishers forward. Alright, boys, let's get another volley going here. Oh, he's just out of range. We're having trouble unleashing volleys because we're not in range, but he's about to march into range with the 6th Louisiana. Open up on them, boys. Come on. What are we waiting on? There we go. And every time we inflict casualties, we gain prestige. You can see now we're up to 43 prestige. 20 for routing a unit. I don't know who we routed, but I'll take it. All right, I want to back up and see if I can see what's going on around me. I think we're pretty safe at the moment. We are definitely at the brunt of the main attack, though. There's a lot of power behind that initial wave that I'm firing on right now. Thankfully, we have cover. We've lost 16 men so far, now 17. These breastworks will help, though. Wish I had a better set of weapons. We do have some cavalry firing on us, too. 30th Virginia. Got artillery support behind us. We've got more skirmishers over here to our right, which is good. Feel pretty good about all of that. Solid line on our left. Got to keep an eye on our loss resilience. We've lost 28 men so far. We're stable, though. Alright, I want to pause for a second because I want to go to the combat report and see if I can actually get a sense of how many casualties that we're inflicting. That's not ours. Which brigade are we in? 3rd Brigade? Are we not even in this division? We're not. That's strange. Okay. Back to the order of battle, because I forget where we are. We're in Tyler's 1st Division, Army of Northeastern Virginia, Schenck 2nd Brigade. Okay. So let's go back to the combat report. 1st Division, 2nd Brigade. There we are. So we've inflicted 38 casualties. We've taken 40, so not exactly lighting things up right now. Who's marching out in front of me? Second Michigan. Yeah, leave it to the Michigan boys to just get in the way. Not that I mind having the support. And then the 3rd Michigan coming up behind me. My guys are getting nervous now. I don't know if rally will help in this situation, but I'm going to do it. But remember, this is our very first combat, so it's not going to take a lot of casualties to scare our boys off, and we've lost nearly 100 men already. We're broken. Okay. Hey, somebody had to get up there and hold the line, because the rest of them weren't doing it. Alright, so we're falling back now. We lost 100 men. Hopefully we'll rally. It's still early in this fight. Okay, so you can see they overran that line. My morale has somewhat recovered. We could probably move back into the fight, but I'm not entirely sure how much that would solve, because it looks like our lines are being overrun regardless. But I am going to try to move up to the support of the 69th New York over here on the left if I can. There's a whole bunch of units back here that are trying to rally. I'm going to at least try to do something, but if they get broken on my right, it could be a really, really ugly day for my regiment. Alright, I'm going to send some... Oh, I can't send skirmishers forward. That's because we're already engaged. Alright, let's pour it into them. 19th Virginia. Hopefully I can get some better weapons before too long. It does demoralize us that there are other units nearby that have routed. Oh, I'm fighting Colonel Joseph Kershaw. The good news is nobody's firing on me right now, so that's kind of the best I can hope for. But you can see here that folks on my right are starting to fall back. 79th New York has similar uniform stars. Now they're firing on us. We just took about, looks like 10 casualties in that last volley. Yeah, this is just an ugly situation. Our army's in trouble. And the unit to my right just fell back, so... Yeah, it's time to call it a day, I think, for this battle. Alright, so here is the final count. We, as an army, lost almost 3,200 men, inflicted 2,300 casualties, so percentage-wise, pretty even. We did gain 42 prestige total. 20 for routing enemies, 17 for casualties inflicted, 10 for combat zone reached, -5 for being routed ourselves. So a little bit of prestige, nothing to write home about. We did lose 126 men, leaves us with about 500 in the regiment. We've got a new companion. Let's see what we can find out about this guy. Gotta pause for a second here while we do that. Go to our headquarters. We've got two companions now. An inglorious partisan. This man's reputation is well earned. Not entirely sure what he does for us. We can kind of see the end result of all of it. Inspiring orator as well. So overall, here's where we're at now. We're liked in leadership. And you can see how that's been impacted. Influence of senior officers. And then in our actual service we gained. from that. Companions are giving us 20% bonus to cunning. All right, so that gives you that. We got 62 prestige now. It's not really enough to do much of anything with it, but looks like we're falling back to Washington. We've got 12 days left on our enlistments, and then we're going to switch over to probably a 1-year enlistment term, but we'll lose some men in the process. Now, if you're curious to know how this works moving forward, now granted I haven't played through a ton of it yet, and we're about to get into another battle here, it looks like. But basically, prestige can be used to earn promotion. And in order to command a brigade, I have to be at least a colonel before I can push for a promotion. And I would need to spend a certain amount of prestige. You'll eventually level up on your own in terms of the rank. Right now, I'm only 10% to colonel. If I had another 1,100 prestige, I could do that promotion now, which I obviously do not. The further this rank progression goes, the less prestige I would need to be able to fill that out for that XP. But then that would get me promoted to colonel, but I'd still be in command of my regiment. Then I would have to use further prestige to apply for a promotion to brigade command. Once I'm a brigadier general, then I could also command a division if I use enough prestige. So it's all about kind of climbing the ladder. And of course, more money would then allow me to increase my stats, buy better gear, all that kind of stuff. But for now, it's time to fight again. So we're being ordered to defend the McLean home. Now, Wilmer McLean did have a farm on what became the Bull Run battlefield. And after the first battle of Bull Run, he wanted to get away from the war. So he moved to Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia, which for almost the entire war was away from the war. But it ended up being in his parlor that Lee and Grant met to discuss and sign the terms of surrender. So that's who we're defending. We've got 553 men. This is showing us first battle experience because this is a new, I guess they're figuring that this is our new unit since we have gone to a 12-month regiment now. We are behind the front line, so that's helpful. Lieutenant Colonel, the 3rd Division is under attack by the enemy. My brigade is on the march to support our boys. Take your regiment move to the stated position as quickly as possible. All right, so we have been ordered now to move up here and engage the enemy. We couldn't just sit tight where we were, I guess. So I'm not entirely sure what we're thinking here because the enemy's coming down this road, so it doesn't seem like that's the direction we really want to go. But oh, there's the 30th Virginia. We engaged them before, so we're going to be fighting them again, it looks like. I really don't want to be out front and be in the vanguard of this attack, though. But it looks like that might be exactly what ends up happening here. All right, where am I? Well, we're kind of caught up in a bit of a traffic jam on the road because everybody's trying to move at once. All right, we're going to change our orders to like right here. As it stands, we're going to end up right in the middle of this thing. There's the 2nd Maine. Those are the guys that, if you've seen the movie Gettysburg, I think it was the 2nd Maine boys were the ones that mutinied and were under arrest. We're going to come up and try to support them as quickly as we can, but the 2nd Maine's going to get hammered here in a minute. There's the 2nd New York State Militia. That's a part of our brigade. And then here we come behind them. I think I want to get up over here on the right, out on the flank if I can. Oh, they're going to march right in front of them, aren't they? I'm going to try to quickly change that order so it doesn't happen. Because as it stands, that's exactly what's going to happen. Stop! Now here's the thing, I'm with the regiment, right? So I mean, it ought to be pretty much an instantaneous order. It's not like I have to wait for a courier. Alright, there we go. Now that we're moving over here, then we can swing over here and get in on the right of the second main. Oh, what in the world is the 2nd Ohio doing? They just went out and marched right in front of the second main, who's now got to adjust what they're doing. I'm going to move up a little bit here, up to the top of this hill. Hopefully start putting some fire into the 1st South Carolina. Good news is it looks like we're getting up and around them, and we might surround this brigade. So that could bode well. Alright, what are we waiting on here, guys? Let's get into the action. Alright, we're opening up on them now. Deploy your regiment and engage the enemy. That's what I'm doing, sir. That's what I'm doing. Just trying to get them deployed on the flanks here as best I can. There we go. Now we can open up and we're firing right into his left flank. Beautiful. Alright, boys, give it to him. As your regiment is deployed and in contact with the enemy, continue the engagement at will using your own discretion. Yes, sir. He's already pulling back. Alright, this is looking good. Look how many Union regiments are coming up. We definitely have the advantage at the moment. He's still trying to bring his forces in, but look at our casualties. Jeez, 543 to 100. Come on, boys. Give him another volley. I hope we can get upgraded to some rifles before too long. Certainly by next spring, because there won't be a ton of fighting before they settle in for the winter. So hopefully by spring we'll have a well-trained force with better weapons. In the meantime, we'll make do with what we've got here. We'll go up to double time. We routed them. There's a plus 10 prestige. Now we're going to move up just a hair. So now we can start pouring into the 2nd South Carolina. I am on the flank, so I need to make sure that the Confederates aren't coming up on me. Doesn't appear they are. Somehow that New Jersey State Militia unit got in behind them. Alright, boys, there we go. Yeah! This is going much better than the last battle, that's for sure. Oh, what are you doing? 2nd Ohio, don't charge, please. Stay right where you are. We're in a good spot. Oh, they have no support. We've got some artillery behind them. That's our brigade's artillery. But it's basically us and the 2nd Ohio at the moment. Some of these other units need to get up here and help out. Alright, I need to advance a little bit here. Give them better support. But we're going to start taking casualties now. Alright, looks like Bidwell's coming up. 1st Michigan. For once, I don't mind having a little help from the Michigan boys. We're going to need it. Oh, 2nd Ohio's pulling back now. But it looks like so are the Confederates. This is one of the things that's really interesting about playing in this mode, right? I don't control what everybody else does. So I can control my regiment, but if the idiot next to me pulls back, there's nothing I can do. Or if the general above me orders us to do something stupid. Now we're firing on the 8th South Carolina. But I think we're in good shape. It looks like the Confederates are pulling back. I'm not sure where they're going to go. All right, we broke them. There's another 10 prestige. Beautiful. Let's keep pressing forward. Hit the 7th, South Carolina. We're not done yet. I think we're encouraging that 1st Michigan. And now they're going to come up to our aid. I love it. Our whole army's staying back, and single-handedly, us and the 1st Michigan are taking care of business. Ohio and Michigan side by side, baby. Come on, you Wolverines. There's some guns there. We could probably grab those, couldn't we? I can't send out skirmishers at the moment because we're too close to the enemy. Alright, let's sit tight. We're not going to keep pushing. I am going to grab these guns, though. I'm going to send some men to man the guns. Alright, there are some fresh units that are thinking about coming down this way. We've got a detachment of men manning these guns. Let's see what happens. Could we get a little help here? It'd be nice if we could get a brigade to kind of move into our left, so we're not sitting out here by ourselves. Here come the Louisiana Tigers. If we can stack them up on this road and hit them one at a time, I think we'll be okay. However, the Michigan boys are thinking about leaving, it appears. Here we go. Tigers only have 350 men, so that helps. I think we can handle that. Now the Michigan boys are going to turn around and come back and help us out again. Going to need them. Hey, entire Union Army that's sitting back there, could you maybe come up and help us? I'm feeling a little like Dan Sickles right now, way out in front of the rest of the army, doing the job that nobody else wants to do. What do we got? We got 24-pounder howitzers. My horse was killed! No! That was a $100 horse! Oh, man. Had my horse killed from under me. It happens. It definitely happens. There have been generals who had multiple horses killed under them during a battle. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that happened. Throw back the Louisiana Tigers. Throw back the 4th South Carolina. Come on, guys. Somebody else come up here and help us out. Now we got a Georgia regiment coming at us. I can't keep fighting the entire Confederate Army by myself. Well, not by myself. The 1st Michigan's right there with me. We do have some artillery support behind us. Alright, looks like some units may be thinking about coming forward. Or is that just skirmishers? Now we're getting bonuses from the artillery detachment and from our infantry. Beautiful. We're gaining some good prestige in this battle. Only lost 31 men so far, too. We lost a -5 because our detachment just got routed. It's okay. 17th Georgia, though, has 850 men. That's a problem. And we got Wade Hampton coming down now, too. All right, we are gonna have to fall back. I can't stay out in front like this forever. didn't give me the option to hit the fallback order. Hopefully that'll just automatically happen. Yeah, it looks like we are going to fall back in good order here. Oh, he's going to charge me. That's a big unit. That's the problem. They've got almost double the men I have. And then he's got support coming up too. Oh, now you're going to send some regiments to my aid. How nice. We could have been routing these Confederates. Alright, this has been a pretty well organized battle though. I'm pretty happy with it so far. That didn't help our morale a whole lot. But I think we're okay now. I'm going to send some skirmishers out. Just to kind of cover us a little bit while we wait for help. No, not that way, you morons. Come on. Over here. Please. There we go. Now some regiments are coming up. It's almost nighttime though. We probably could have held on till night. Now that I think about it. I guess we got another hour yet. Alright, looks like we redeployed after the day was over, so we've pulled back over here, back closer to our original positions. We'll probably get some orders here soon. We've now lost 81 men, though. It's a little more than I would have liked. But we are up to 127 prestige. We've gained almost 60 for this battle. All right, the Army's been ordered forward. We've been ordered to attack Blackburn's Ford. Kind of dumb. We held that ground already. We shouldn't have had to pull back, but so it is. So we're going to move up right here, up along the creek, Bull Run Creek, and we'll kind of wait and see what the rest of the Army does before we get into a position. Okay, we received conflicting orders a few times, then we kept getting moved back and forth, and in the process, I gained some extra prestige from being in combat zones several times, but now we've been ordered to fall back, but we're right on the front line, engaged in the enemy, so easier said than done. But unfortunately, the boys around me are going to be falling back, so we're going to probably have to. Just because we're not going to have any support. And it looks like we might have a little. I might try to hold on here as best I can. Lost 115 men, and I'm not going to be able to sustain a lot more in terms of losses before we end up breaking, so I've got to be careful here. I do want to put my fire on the South Carolina regiment, though. It'd be really helpful if I could get some support up here, firing into them before I break. Things are we're not gonna last too much longer like this. Just taking too many casualties. About 25% already. And I don't see these guys breaking. I just got too many men firing on me. And not enough support. They're not coming up either. We're ordered back to McLean. So we're gonna do that. Before we take too many. We broke. Darn it. Okay. Well, this is disappointing. We had lost like 160 some men. Overnight, that number has gone up to 231. So instead of 30% losses, we're now at like 40% losses. So even though we didn't really do anything, I guess some men were stragglers or something, but this battle's far from over, but I'm really kind of not to be much more involved. Losses are at 20% on our Army's side. I don't see how we can continue to fight like this. We've fallen back once again behind this little branch of the creek, but I have absolutely no ability to continue fighting. What was for 2.5 days a pretty even fight fell apart badly at the end. We ended up losing 6,000 men. It's a major federal defeat, though we gained 87 prestige in that battle. So we're going to withdraw, and we'll see what the status of everything is before we wrap this episode up. My goal is to make these episodes frequent, but maybe a little shorter, and kind of keep the story going, keep the narrative going as best we can with this first playthrough. I am going to Gettysburg Monday and Tuesday of this coming week, so there might be a break in there, but we'll try to do this as often as possible. But let's go ahead and see where the situation is at the moment. All right, so first of all, I'm having severe mood swings thanks to my schizophrenic personality. This causes a lot of extra friction and grudge between you and your commander. That's less than ideal. We do have 169 prestige now, which certainly will come in handy, but I want to take a look at our regiment because we probably are really hurting for manpower. We have just 323 men in our regiment, which is still a decent-sized regiment by like 1863 standards, but this early in the war, it's rough. Now, I could apply to get a transfer of command to another like bigger unit, like one of these that have like 500 men or something. There's Lieutenant Colonel Ulysses Grant, with whom I do not have a great relationship, apparently. I could apply for one of those, but I do like the idea of kind of sticking with my unit. You can see here we took 126 casualties at the Battle of Manassas, inflicted 70, 231 at Leesburg, inflicting 151. So it's been a rough couple of battles for us. We don't have the ability to upgrade our weapons. I'm thinking if I'm worried about promotion to better command, I need to start looking for a unit that's bigger and that has better weapons, like Springfield rifle muskets. So I might take Grant's unit there. Is there another Ohio unit anywhere? Like the 2nd Ohio, they've got 482 men, but also only Springfield muskets. And they only have 12 days until the enlistments are up. So 4th Pennsylvania Infantry, their commander was killed in action. But again, they don't have the good weapons there. 1st Michigan, yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to command a Michigan unit. Maybe the 5th Maine over here in Oliver Howard's brigade. That cost most of the prestige we have, but it might be helpful. But before I do that, the other thing I do want to look at is I want to look at how far we've got to go for rank progression. We're only at 11%. Yeah, we still need 1,100, so we're nowhere close to that. Let's go ahead and spend a little bit of money here. We don't have enough to buy anything right now. Okay. The other option, of course, is that we can spend our prestige on staff, but that would pretty well wipe us out. And all it would do is gain us some administration. I feel like the best use of my funds right now would be to get a transfer to a regiment that's got more manpower in it and better weapons. All right, Grant, I'm taking your unit. I'm going to take the 5th Pennsylvania Infantry away from General Grant. The staff corps will remain at the old unit. The general staff is all I have right now, so that's okay. All right, 92 prestige. Resentments of its former commander, Lieutenant Colonel Grant, toward you may arise. So I'm going to anger Grant. All right, we are now commanding the 5th Pennsylvania under Uncle John Sedgwick in Samuel Heintzelman's division. So that's where we're going to wrap it up right there. We'll probably settle in. I don't know if any more battles will be fought before we get to the spring campaign season of 62, but let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. We'll be back again soon with another episode. Thanks for watching.